Hey there, YouTube. I just wanted to come on and say a quick hello for today. Today is Thursday. Oh gosh, I have the heat on in my car today, and temperature-wise, it's not even as cold as it has been. So up until today, I have been trying not to put the heat on in my car. And there's been temperatures colder than this before today recently. But today I'm just really feeling the cold. I'm a lot more like, I don't want to say bundled up, but I'm definitely wearing more clothing as well than I have been lately, like pretty recently. And yeah, even in temperatures colder than what it is here today, I've been wearing like, short sleeves. Sometimes I've been going out in just like my club dress, trying to like, toughen myself up to the cold for the winter or something like that, like acclimate, that kind of thing. But I don't know, today is just not one of those days. Today's I'm kind of like just not up for it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe part of it is that I didn't work yesterday. Sometimes I work at the club on Wednesdays, but yeah, I didn't yesterday. So I guess there's like less heat retention in my body from like being on stage and being on the pole or something like that, maybe, I'm guessing. But I was kind of thinking about that actually. When I really, really like push myself, sometimes I can do, lately, sometimes I've been doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Well, like late afternoon into the late night / early morning hours, basically. So like 10-hour shifts. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't always get to do Wednesdays. Sometimes I max out at the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, which is what I just did this past, this week. I think last Wednesday I did actually do the 4 shifts though. I'm pretty sure last week I did the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I was thinking about it and I was like, wow, when I do manage to do all 4 of those 10-hour shifts for those 4 nights in a row like that, that's actually a 40-hour week doing that. And I hadn't really thought about it until today, pretty much. But yeah, I guess that's technically a 40-hour week. And then sometimes I'll still try to go in for like a Friday or Saturday day shift when I can manage to get up in time, which isn't very often these days. I always think I'm going to try for it in my head, and I do try for it. I'm a terrible sleeper. I really don't sleep at night, so that makes it a lot more difficult. But yeah, I don't know, I guess that's kind of a weird way to get the 40 hours, just like 10-hour shifts back to back like that, and at night, that kind of thing. But it's still technically 40 hours when I'm able to do that. So I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, last night I just didn't go in. I kind of wish I had, but it's just one of those days where I really had to catch up on sleep, I guess. Yeah, normally doing those 10-hour shifts back to back like that, when I go in the following shift after the previous one that I do, the night / early morning before that, I'm really not going on much sleep, maybe 4 or 5 hours, sometimes 6 if I'm lucky. So yeah, it's been a very strange, wild ride with all of that for me. It really hasn't started snowing here yet. I don't want to jinx it. Well, actually, I guess I've heard in parts of the state that I'm in, it has started snowing, from what I've read and what I've heard from other people. Just not in the town, the location that I'm in. It was pretty close the other day. There were like little crystals kind of falling from the sky, but not enough to like accumulate on the ground, not to where it actually looked like visible snowflakes. It was more just like a crystally kind of weird stuff in the air. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like that before, actually, but it was kind of like when there's a fresh snowfall and then there's like the powder on the top, like really light and fluffy, and the wind blows and there's just like those little crystals that kind of, but it was barely even that. So again, I don't want to jinx it. I know that no matter what, it's going to be on the way and arriving soon, but too soon. It's always too soon. But yeah, oh gosh. I'm happy I was at least able to get out today. I actually was able to get up earlier in the day than I'm usually able to. I was actually able to get out and about before noon today, which is very, very rare for me. If I do manage to do a day shift at the club, which again, I haven't really been able to do as much recently and lately, but a day shift for me would be getting to the club that I work at noon. So it's been a while since I've been able to get myself out that early, doing the night shifts, you know, and sleeping in later into the day and the afternoon, that kind of thing. But yeah, I was able to get up before noon today and do some things. I mentioned, I think in my last video, that I had to switch my license plates, but they weren't coming off for me to be able to change them. So I had the plates on this car. The old plates were on there for like, or on here for like over 10 years. Well, almost 10 years, not over 10 years, almost 10 years. And, you know, just like with all the winters around here every year for so long, winters here are like 6, 7, almost 8 months pretty much of the year. So those, I don't know if they were like, there were some weird kind of screws that were holding the plates on, but they were like rusted into the car. They were just not coming off. I had like pliers and different tools that I was trying to get them off with, and it just wasn't, they weren't budging, not even close. So, but I kind of lucked out as far as I had to go get some stuff with my car fixed last Thursday. And they said, because they had to take my tires off to do that, they had said, come back to their shop in about 50 miles or so they could retighten the lug nuts. Because I guess after driving, I don't know, they just said to come back so they could tighten them. So I did that, and I was just like really like hoping, like, you know, doing that. The real reason I went was to try to have them do my plates, and they were nice. They did, and like no hassle there, no questions asked. They were so nice about it. No charge. So they did it for free. So that was like kind of what I was like crossing my fingers for, you know, like because yeah, there's just been a lot of expenses with my car lately. There usually is this time of year. This is the time of year I have to get it registered and inspected. I just got it registered the other day, you know, when I got the new plates. And I mean, the whole reason I got the new plates is because the town hall clerk said that these ones would be cheaper, only by $15, but you know, that's still $15 less than they would have been with the same plates I had before. So yeah, I was really hoping to not have to spend any money today to get the plates switched, because again, the whole reason that I had been switching them in the first place was to try to save some money. So they were really nice. The place I went to was VIP, and then they have the O'Reilly Auto Parts like next door. I think it's actually like in the same building. It's like one shop, but they have like both signs on the front. But whichever place it would have been considered, I guess they're like one in the same kind of store, or this place that I went to, but they were all just really nice. I was like so thankful to them for doing that, and just, yeah, like being really nice about it. I don't know what I would do without people in places like that, you know. And then I think it's kind of funny because, you know, pretty much the whole reason I try so hard to spend as little money as possible is because at the club that I work at, being a dancer, I really don't like doing VIPs. I really try to, because the place that I went to is called VIP, and I really do not like to do VIP. If I can help it, if I can avoid it at all costs, I will try to do that typically. So, oh gosh, yeah. And then my last shift that I did at the club, this past Tuesday, a couple days ago. Overall, I guess it was okay, kind of, but at the start of it, when I first got there, that was Veterans Day. So the start of the shift, when I first got there in the later afternoon, there were these 3 older guys that came in when I was on stage, and I don't know what I was thinking, because I was wearing 8-inch heels, and sometimes, I don't know, like, sometimes 8-inch heels are fine for me. When I'm really on my game and, like, doing well with the dancing, I actually prefer to wear the 8 inches, but it depends on the shoes, too. So the 8-inch heels, for me, the 8-inch heels that I prefer, that I really should try to stick to if I'm going to try to do 8s, would be, they have to be a certain kind of shoe. They have to be the clear, and they have to be double strapped on the top. I have to have, there is a very specific shoe. It's like one type of shoe that I can wear, and I don't have those anymore. The ones that I have of that, they're all like broken and like just not wearable anymore. So the 8-inch shoes, the 8-inch heels that I was wearing this past Tuesday are just, they're not that type of shoe. They don't have the double strap. They're just way too loose on my feet. Even wearing like 2-3 pairs of socks, they're too loose on my feet. There's like no ankle support, that kind of thing. I'm just very wobbly in them, like a newborn deer, like a baby deer, I feel like, when I wear them. And so this past Tuesday, I was wearing those. I don't know why, like what I was thinking wearing those shoes. I just was exhausted as usual, not really thinking properly. Freezing cold, just trying not to allow my brain to freeze in my head on the spot. Like it feels like it's been doing lately, but so yeah, my entire body hurt head to toe. I was just feeling so exhausted and so sore and just so awful. And being on stage, I just wanted, because I had just gotten there, you know, for the start of my shift at this time, and I just wanted to stretch. And my favorite manager wasn't working this shift, so or like at all that day or night. And so many of the other shifts, especially the day shifts or like the afternoon shifts, before night shift basically, when he's not there, a lot of those other shifts are just excruciating. Like the lights that the other managers will put on the stage a lot of times are just the most, I just don't like those lights. I can't look at myself in the mirror when there's those lights. I mean, I'm scared to look at myself in the mirror even with the lights that I do like, yet alone the other ones that are so bad. They're like, there are lights for the stage. There's so many different lights to choose from, but a lot of them are like worse than any other kind of lighting I've seen. Like department store lighting, just anything. Like picture the worst lighting you can imagine and then make it 10 times worse, or just like multiply it into infinity. Like just really bad lighting. And then there's like this strobe that they'll put on sometimes that's like on this weird pattern to like, it just hurts. It's just very painful, like to have blaring into your head and your eyeballs, and like, it's the way that it's the brightness of it, it's the way that it looks, but it's also on this weird pattern that's just like, it feels like torture to me personally. I don't know about other people, but for me, it feels like I'm being like tortured basically. Like, so yeah, it was one of those kind of shifts. That's how a lot of, when my favorite manager is not there, that's how most of the other shifts are. For me, that's how most of them feel like. It's just crazy because I hate to feel like this. Like, but it's like day and night. It's like black and white. It's like two polar opposite feelings a lot of times. It's like when my favorite manager will do the lights and the music, I hardly ever see him anymore. Like, he's just like always being put on other shifts that I don't really work. So it's like, but there was a time when I was doing like all his shifts during the day, and like it was like the best time ever. Like, it was like bliss. It was like something I looked forward to, something to like just like one wonderful thing in life. Like, it was like amazing. It was like ecstasy on stage compared to like so many of the other shifts. It's like hell. And it's just, it's so crazy to me that one person working there can make that much of a difference, and like to where it's like sheer ecstasy or sheer hell. And I just really struggle to come to terms with that because I don't want so much to ride on one person, especially when they're leaving. This person's leaving next spring. So I try so hard to like force myself to try to think differently and see things differently there. Like, oh no, like the other shifts are fine. They're totally fine. Like, I can make it work. I just have to try harder and exercise more and take better care of myself so I look better, find better outfits that suit that lighting, that kind of thing. But you know, like when you just try to lie to yourself, like try to, I've had other shifts when he's not there that are okay, but it's just like, picture like the best thing ever, or like one of the best things you've ever, the best times, the best things you've ever had in your life, and then compared to just like something that's just like another hellish thing, just another, like so many other things in life, just like torture, hell, suffering, pain, that kind of thing. I really, really try not to look at it that way and not to feel this way about it. But if I'm being honest with myself, or just, I mean, that's kind of, that's, you know. Anyway, there were these three old guys at the start of my shift this past Tuesday. And again, I was in these shoes that I shouldn't have been wearing, just hurting from head to toe, these terrible lights on the stage. And all I wanted to do was just avoid looking at myself in the mirror as best I could, try to avoid these strobe lights just like blaring into my eyes, like from every direction in these horrible patterns that were like blinding me and giving me a headache and just making it that much harder for me not to fall over and get hurt. I just wanted to stretch because that's, you know, like a big part of being active and doing all the crazy stuff that I do on the pole over and over for 10 hours straight, pretty much, on hardly any sleep. So yeah, I was trying to stretch, and these three guys come up to the stage, and you know, it was Veterans Day and they're older guys. So I'm just trying to think to myself, these guys could have like probably fought in a war, or they're probably veterans and that kind of thing. So, I mean, and I was really trying. Like, there's different levels of me trying to be nice to guys like that with how they were being to me. And I wasn't like at a 10 of trying to be nice and like calm and patient with how rude they were being, but I definitely wasn't like on the lower end. I was like higher than the middle area. I was really trying to be nice and just remind myself that it was Veterans Day and that kind of thing. Like, these guys probably could have fought for our country and that kind of thing. But they were being pretty rude to me. Like, I mean, there were three of them, Out of the 3 of them, 2 of them didn't tip me a single dollar, and one on the far right tipped me $2. So I'm just thinking there's 3 guys, there's $2, and it took him a long time to put those $2 on the tip rail. And if I was smart, which we all know I'm not, or yeah, so if I was smart, I would have gotten those $2 right away. And that's what I normally try to do. But I was hurting so bad, just like, again, from head to toe. And the shoes, I just like didn't even have it in me to like maneuver my body to bend down and pick up those $2, like 2 feet away from me, basically. Like, I was hurting that much. So and they were just like really making me uncomfortable and like being really rude and obnoxious and like, so, and I did I was really trying to be nice. I was like trying to make conversation, like not lengthily, like in depth, obviously, because I'm on stage, but I was trying to like talk with them and like be nice and like laughing. And, I was taking some clothing off, climbing the pole, did a pole trick for them. Eventually, not that far into this, but I guess they didn't like whatever was happening because the guy that put the $2 down took the $2 back. So there were $0 at the stage. And this is after I had done like, conversing and smiling and laughing and climbing the pole and doing pole tricks. He took the $2 away off the stage. So again, there was just like nothing that I was tipped from them. And I don't know, a lot of older guys sometimes will like have dollars in their hands and just like really try to get you to come over to them so they can try to grope you, or like on stage. Like for me, I know other dancers too, but especially for me, just like how I look and like, cause I'm so nice, or I try to be, I don't know, just like something about me. Like I've had a lot of people grope me when I'm on stage. I've had, and like guys like that, like they want you to come over like closer to them so they can try to like put $1 like as close to your top area or your bottom area as they can get their hands to, which, is not very pleasant. So yeah, that was just not fun, obviously. Like that was not a good start to my shift. But then luckily, eventually this group of younger guys came in and they were awesome. And so they were like, this was later on. This was probably like an hour or 2 later. So I was dealing with those old guys as best I could for like at least an hour or 2 before the younger guys came in. Eventually the older guys went over to the other, to one of the smaller stages that we have where there was another dancer. And this other dancer is much better at dealing with stuff like that because, I don't know, she used to go on the pole, I don't know, a couple years ago. She's older too, by the way. I think she's probably older than I am, and I'm in my late 30s. So not that long ago, she used to go on the pole. She was one of the most amazing pole dancers I've ever seen there. I mean, she would, but then, I don't know, at some point, I guess she had a hip replacement surgery. And so I guess that obviously really affected her ability to do that. And I don't really see her go on the pole now after having that surgery. But she can still do some pretty crazy floor work that I certainly can't do. And one of the things that she'll do for that is, a lot of dancers do this, but she's like really good at it. I don't know, she like flips over into a guy's lap when they're sitting at the stage. And so her like bum area is like right in front of their face. And I don't know, she'll do all this like crazy footwork and like really artistic looking. And then she has all these weird like flips that she does. I don't know how she does it. Like I've never even been able to get myself to attempt to do something like that because I just know that I honestly don't know how I do anything like on the pole because my entire body just always hurts, like a lot, pretty much almost all the time. I think I have scoliosis and possibly fibromyalgia. I just don't have health insurance. I don't go to doctors, so I don't know exactly what my conditions might be, but I hurt basically a lot, like pretty much all the time. Like my entire body is in a lot of pain. So for me to do I don't know how I'm able to do the pole, but I guess that for whatever reason, there's just very specific moves and things that I can do up there. But there's also a lot of stuff that I can't do, even for like stuff not on the pole, even just like, yeah, for floor work and like just things that look like they should be easier and simpler. But for me, for whatever reason, I just feel like they would be more difficult than going on the pole for me. I don't know why. So like, yeah, that kind of thing, like floor work flips into the chairs and scoliosis. I mean, it really like completely, it's like where your spine is curved. So everything's pretty much connected to your spine just about. I mean, a large portion of your body anyway. So when your spine is all twisted around like that, it affects like everything practically, like your hips, your shoulders. I was like, your hips, your shoulders, like I don't know, just a lot of stuff. So it completely throws my body off, and it actually makes it to where I don't think I'd even be able to have a desk job, because even just like sitting down like for a period of time, like sitting still will, like even like right now, it'll, you know what I mean? Like I just constantly feel like I need to get up and like twist myself around and like stretch, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. This other dancer, she's still, even after her hip surgery, she's still really, really good at like flip moves and whatever you would call what she does on the chairs and stuff with the guys. So thankfully they went over to the smaller stage where she was, and she just like entertained them for like hours basically doing that. And they seem much happier after that. So I was like, thank gosh, just like, and then the younger guys came in eventually, and I don't know, a short while after the young guys went to the other side of the stage, the older guys came back to the opposite side of the stage when I was on there again. So it was like the young guys were on one side, and those three older guys were on the other side of the stage. And the older guys still didn't tip me a single dollar, like the entire time that they were there, the entire time that I was there. I didn't get a single dollar out of any of them. They just did not like me. But it was kind of funny because at one point the younger guys were tipping me on their side of the stage, while the older guys were just like sitting on the opposite side of the stage with a bunch of dollars in their hand, just like trying to wave for me to come over and do whatever they wanted me to do over there for them. But I just like wasn't bothering, because I didn't know what they wanted me to do over there. I was like, I'm already on the pole, I'm already like getting naked and that kind of thing. So I'm already doing my little striptease, my little dance for you guys. Like, I don't know what else you want me to do. You know, I didn't want to have to go over there and have them like try to move my clothing, whatever clothing I was still wearing around, to like for them to physically play. I just didn't feel like dealing with them. So I was trying my best to be nice. I was really just like, okay, it's Veterans Day, just like smile and deal with it. But yeah, so it was kind of funny because a lot of times, because yeah, the younger guys were all like tipping on their side of the stage, like across from them. So a lot of times I feel like the old guys have this like, oh, let's show these younger boys how it's done kind of, you know, mentality and attitude with stuff like that. But this time it was kind of the opposite. It was the younger guys like showing the older guys how it's done. And I'm just so glad those younger guys came in and were just nice and fun, and yay them. So that made that much better, thankfully. But yeah, oh gosh, 'twas a time. I mean, that kind of thing happens, like with how those older guys were being, that kind of thing happens all the time. And it is really frustrating, because it's like, thank gosh I'm not that desperate for a dollar. And I'm a pretty desperate kind of, like I am pretty desperate for some dollars. I mean, I will pick pennies up off the ground when I see them. I was mentioning in my last video that I climbed the pole with like a long broomstick type squeegee device. It was really big and really heavy, basically. And like when you think of a broom handle is like a certain width and diameter. Whatever this thing would be called, it's like a really long handled, there's a squeegee on the end, basically like a big windshield wiper, like a big squeegee, but the length of the handle is like, yeah, I guess basically like a broom, but the diameter of the handle, it's pretty thick. So I don't know how I've been able to climb the pole with that in my hand a few times, but I've done that, and I'm pretty sure I did that not Tuesday, but I think I did that Monday, at the end of my shift Monday night, the night before. And sometimes I've been able to get dollars stuck up above the stage in the trellis area with the metal framework that holds the lights up. Sometimes dollars will get stuck up there. So sometimes I've been able to use that squeegee broom thing to shake down the dollars stuck up there, the ones that I can't reach, you know, just like with my hands. But that didn't work the last time that I did it on Monday night. But also I was thinking lately that I want to try to bring in my Swiffer into the club, because it seems like nobody bothers to clean the stage anymore, the stage floor. So the stage floor is like really gross. It's just like filthy and it's just disgusting. So, but I'm not one to like, I try not to complain about stuff, and I'm not one to like go up to a manager and be like, can you please clean the stage floor? I know dancers have done that in the past, but I have a hard time with stuff like that. I hate asking people for things. Like, I really, like, for me to go to the car place that I went to earlier today, and I mean, they told me to come there to tighten the lug nuts on my tires anyway, thankfully, but it was like really hard for me to ask them to help out with my license plates. And I only did it because I had tried everything else I could think of to try myself first, and they weren't budging with any of the tools that I had at my disposal and like anything that I was trying. So, but it took a lot for me to ask them to do that. And I was just like so thankful that they were so nice about it and so helpful. Thank you, VIP and O'Reilly Auto Parts. But yeah, so I was thinking maybe I could try to bring in my Swiffer that I have, because I never use my Swiffer at my apartment. Like, I'm just not clean or tidy like that. I just don't have it in me. So I was like, okay, well, I could at least bring it into the club and maybe just try to clean the stage floor myself. Because like, a Swiffer is just like quick and easy, you know what I mean? So I could do that in like, what, a minute or two, pretty much. But also the thing about the Swiffer, I was like, well, maybe I could use that to try to shake down those dollars stuck up above the stage, because the broom squeegee type thing that I was trying to use before it's really big actually, and it's pretty heavy. Like, the handle is thick. The squeegee type thing at the end is probably like I don't know, it's like a good 2 or 3 feet. It's pretty big and it's pretty heavy. Whereas the Swiffer is like lighter and the handle's smaller. So now I'm thinking maybe I could use my Swiffer to try to, I'm pretty sure it's only $2 stuck up there. I don't know why it drives me nuts. I don't know why I can't let go of the $2 that have been stuck up there, but when I see dollars stuck up there, I need to try to get them for whatever reason. I just can't let it go. I'm a very strange person. And I know, obviously, like I'm pretty sure it was Monday night, when I was climbing the pole with a freaking broom in my hand somehow. The broom squeegee, I call it a broom squeegee, I don't know what to call it. The sweeper, I think they call it the sweeper. I'm sure people were looking at me, whoever was still there, and like witnessing that, like, what is wrong with this person? What is wrong with her? And I ask myself the same thing, I really do, all the time, and I can't seem to figure it out. And then, yeah, oh, the irony, that sweeper thing, it's used by the floor host to sweep up all of these $1 bills that are like, these guys make it rain on like almost all the other dancers, it seemed like, except for me. So yeah, that's that, I guess. I don't know. I'm really like clinging on to this little bit of hope that maybe someday I can be successful with the website that I'm on. I don't want to have to monetize my YouTube. I know I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I guess that's the number where you can like add ads onto your videos and do that kind of thing. I really don't want to do that. My YouTube, for me, I want to just have it be like a fun hobby. You know, it's something to try to, it's just something that I look forward to, that I enjoy. And it's to try to get my mind off of like things that I shouldn't be focusing on or thinking about. Like, you know, I don't like to, you know, like this manager guy that I have all these weird feelings about because they're leaving, and they like they seem to be like the one person at the club that's like able to make things so much better and just like actually enjoyable somehow. And I really hate that feeling. They have a girlfriend, they're leaving, etc. So like I just don't, so you know what I mean? I don't like to focus on that or think about that. I just try to like put it out of my brain as best I can, even though it's obviously a big part of my life. Like having your job, having your work, you're like the thing that you do so often be something you love versus, I don't want to say hate, but just something that really hurts, and you know what I mean? Like just feels awful for the most part. So that is a pretty big thing. But I mean, I know there have been other people that have worked there in the past that have been able to have things be enjoyable, more than just enjoyable, like really, really amazing when I was on the stage. But that was years ago, and those guys were, besides that, they were very rude and very mean to me. So whereas this guy is nice. But anyway, so I just needed like a hobby to like get my brain off of like things that I don't want to be thinking about, like I don't know, like stuff like that. So, but yeah, this other website that I stream on sometimes, it's like an adult website, basically. And I just really hope, like, I don't want to say it's like that last little bit of hope, but it's like, damn, I really hope that maybe someday I could be successful with that and hopefully make some kind of income, have some kind of thing going with that, because, you know, like with the dancing, I really don't see that as like my way to make money. Like, it's like my sport. It's a way for me to try to stay in shape. I pretty much live off of the savings that I got from an older person that died that I used to work for. They left me something before they died, thankfully, but like I try so hard to make that last as long as I can, because I'm like, well, the less I have of that, the more inclined I would be to feel like, you know what I mean, to try to push myself more to try to actually make money as a dancer, which I don't want to do. Like just the way that guys are there, and like for me to feel like I have to climb the pole with like a broom in my hand, a broom squeegee, to try to get like every last little dollar I can find there, because guys just won't tip me very much most of the time. I just really suck as a dancer or like a stripper. I mean, I can do stuff on the pole here and there, but okay, whatever. That's like a sport for me. I dread the thought of actually having to try to really make money that way. Like I want to try to avoid that at all costs and like rebel against that. Like I just hate that entire concept so much. Like it just really destroys my soul, and like I just can't mentally accept it. Like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, yeah, I like the workout. Like I'm pretty sure another medical issue I think I have is probably like hypothyroidism, to where I basically have to try to stay as active as I can force myself to try to be. Otherwise I, you know, kind of, I also really like to eat. I also really like food. So my mom and my grandma have definitely, you know, as they got older, they got larger, which is fine, but I personally, you know, would like to try to avoid that if I can, because I just don't want to have that happen. But I know my hormones are probably pretty messed up, and yeah, I think I probably might have an underactive thyroid, which sucks in that department, especially. I think it probably contributes to like my feelings of like fatigue and lethargy and like depression and just like always feeling exhausted. And then there's the not sleeping hardly ever at night and stuff. I don't know. It's just a whole weird thing. So how did I wind up here? And sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I could have a desk job if that actually existed anymore. You know, like if stuff like that, like, you know, like regular jobs or just more of like the traditional, like secretarial, just like a simple regular job. But can you actually like have a job like that and really make an income as a single individual, especially these days? And then there's the AI taking over so many jobs, and it's like, and then I'm like, well, I really would love to think that maybe being able to actually be successful and have some kind of an income from this website that I'm on, maybe that could still be like a possibility. And I try to cling on to that little bit of hope for that. But it's like, honestly, I don't want to do that either. I mean, if I'd be able to make it work at some point in the future, then okay, yeah, great. Yeah, that would at least be better than not. But I don't know. So far, it just seems to mess up my laptop, the one laptop that I have left, like so much. And it's like, I don't even like to do my YouTube from my apartment. I haven't done a single YouTube from my apartment. I've done all these videos on my YouTube so far from my car here and a couple from the club that I work at, from the strip club. I haven't done a single video from my apartment in all the months that I've been on YouTube. Almost 4 months now. And it's like, so for me to not even feel comfortable doing a YouTube video from my apartment, it's like to be on a website like that, you know, like an adult style website, and allow that kind of audience into my personal private space, which is not that personal or private because I've had things go missing from there. So somebody or something obviously goes in there when I'm not there. I don't like to think about that, but you know, I do live alone there, so it's like it feels personal and private enough, I guess, when I'm there by myself. So to then willingly, like purposely allow like this adult kind of audience from a website like that into that space, when it's like, you know, I'm already so social and so out there, so exposed at the club, you know, as a stripper, as a dancer. It's like when I'm at my apartment by myself, I just want to have my own space and just have it be like for me, you know, to just relax finally and to finally try to catch up on some sleep. I'm exhausted, you know what I mean? It's like I'm doing these 10-hour night shifts back to back, going on like 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep in between them. So my days off, my time off at my apartment, I want to catch up on sleep. Or there's like a lot of other things that I could be doing there. I gotta tidy it up. There's always these errands I have to go run, stuff with my car. You know, going to the bank and the post office and paying bills. I mean, I don't really have help with anything. I do everything myself. So it's like, it's tough, yeah. And it's like, do I really want to just expose this one little area of space that I have that's kind of, you know, just for myself, or at least the times that I'm there by myself? It's I can't control other people. If whoever goes in there when I'm not there, that's one thing. But at least when I'm there, it's just me there, as far as I'm aware of anyways. I mean, I barricade the doors, you know what I mean? Like I barricade the doors, and I always check every nook and cranny that I can think to check when I get back there after being out. So I'm pretty sure when I'm there by myself that it's just me there. Like I really check to try to make sure that it is. So just to have that one little time of space to myself like that is a pretty big thing. So it's like, do I really want to just open that up to the internet world of an adult website where it's like all these weird things seem to happen when I'm on there and after I've been on there. A lot of times when stuff has gone missing, it's right after I've been on that website. And then a lot of times when I have issues with my laptop, it's right after I've been on that website, you know? So it's like, damn, why did I ever move out of my mom's house? I really shouldn't have bothered with any of this, trying to be independent kind of thing. And I was never really trying to set out to like be this like strong, independent woman and prove that I don't need a man and that kind of thing. It was never like that for me. I'm not against relationships. I mean, I want to think I'm open to the idea of them and, you know, all kinds of things, relationships, marriage, kids. I'm not opposed to any of that, you know. I really feel like I'm pretty open-minded, or at least I try to be, you know, to a lot of different things. But it's like nothing just ever really seems to happen for me. I guess sometimes with stuff like that, you have to know what you want and make it happen. But if I'm being honest, I don't really know what I want necessarily, other than just a simple kind of successful life of just not having to deal with other people's crap as best I can, you know. I don't know. I guess I'm one of those people that knows more of like what I don't want versus what I do want. There are things that I know that I want, trust me. I mean, it's not like, but it's just like the things that I know that I do want, I really don't know how to get them. I really don't. And they're more like of a out there, outlandish kind of things. I don't know, it's hard to explain right now, but yeah, there are things that I want. I just don't know how to go about trying to get them. And I do think about it a lot. I really try to come up with possibilities in my brain. I try to think about this stuff and I just can't seem to, you know. So in the meantime, it's like, well, I know a few things that I don't want, at least. I know that I don't want certain things. But even then, I'm like, well, at least try to be open to the possibilities. But there just doesn't seem to be a lot of possibilities where I am. You know, I want to think that there could be. But then, yeah, trying to say it out loud like this, a lot of times it all just feels like a bunch of excuses, and I'm just an idiot that just can't figure stuff out. I don't know. One day at a time, I guess. I'm not too sure. But at least for today, I know I got some things, I got some things done today. You know, I got my new plates on my car, free of charge. Thank you, VIP and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Again, you guys are amazing. You know, I ran a bunch of errands and I came on here to do this video. I wasn't too sure if I was gonna try to do a video today. I'm just so exhausted and been so cold lately. It's weird though, because I really do feel better after doing YouTube videos. There's something when I'm trying to, I don't know, talk or interact with other people or for other people. I don't know, it just gets me into this different kind of headspace or different kind of mood, energy level, where I'm just trying to be more awake and alert and upbeat and positive for other people, because I don't want to seem like a downer, or I don't want to seem like negative energy for other people. Like I really try really hard to be positive for others. Whereas like when I'm not trying to like interact for others or perform for others, even just like doing a video on here, like on YouTube, you know, like this happens in person, like, you know, at the club, and not as much when I'm out and about with strangers, like running errands. Like then I kind of am just like cranky and like not so nice. I try to be nice like if I'm actually like interacting with people, but I don't know, it's like especially when I'm actually like talking to somebody or talking on here for my YouTube videos and talking at the club, interacting with people at the club when I'm working, just like for people, it's like I can just kind of transcend a little bit of how I actually feel the rest of the time and like just feel more positive, feel more energized. I just feel better, you know, in those actual times and moments where I'm trying to do stuff for people that way. Whereas the rest of the time when I'm by myself, like not thinking about other people or not trying to like talk to other people or interact for other people, perform for other people, when it's just me and like the quietness, it's like the level of exhaustion and the level of depression is unbelievable to me. Like I just don't, I feel like I don't understand how I'm ever able to actually do anything, and I just feel like I won't ever be able to do anything ever again with how exhausted and how depressed I feel, and just like worn down, beaten down, overwhelmed, just in so much pain, so lost and so alone and so terrified. Just, I mean, the list just goes on for these words I could use here, but it just all feels so overwhelming and impossible and excruciating to me. I'm just so exhausted. And the depression, yeah, and just like not being treated for that, not having health insurance, not going to doctors, feeling like I have all these things that are untreated and I don't even know exactly what they are, but I know that whatever they are, they feel pretty serious and they seem pretty serious and they really affect me and my quality of life or lack thereof to an incredible extent. But then, yeah, it's like when it's for the people, when it's for other people, it's like I just kind of snap out of it a bit. And when I was trying to decide if I wanted to do this YouTube video, I was just like, there's no way, I'm too exhausted. I'm not going to be able to fake it enough. I'm not going to be able to, I was just in such a bad mood, so exhausted, so depressed, just so over today and all these stupid things that I had to run around and go do. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to just like smile for the camera and like talk and like sound positive. There's no way. But then I was like, you know what? Just log on for like 5-10 minutes, just do a quick little hello, just see how it goes, just to do something with that for today, just to, you know what I mean, just to have something to post for today. And I really thought it was going to be like maybe 10 or 15 minutes tops. I'm at almost an hour right now, so it's so weird to me, but like I'm laughing right now, like I'm smiling, and I feel so much more energized. And I just don't understand how that's possible, or how something so small could make so much, or that feels so small. I'm not even talking to an actual person like face to face or like directly right now, you know what I mean? It's like I'm talking to a camera. I don't even know who would ever be watching this, if it's an actual real person or what, but it's like even just trying to do something for other people like this just snaps me out of whatever thing I'm stuck in before, to an extent anyways. Like I feel like I have so much more energy right now. I feel so much more positive right now. I feel just different than how I felt before I started doing this video, in a much better way. Like I just feel better. So I'm not too sure what to make of that, or if that's just how real that is, or how, like, you know what I mean? It feels, I don't know, it's just a strange thing to me, because again, so much on the internet for me, so many things on the internet just feel like an illusion, or, you know, like not very real, or just kind of confusing. I don't know. I just don't know what to make of it or what to think about it a lot of times. Just like a lot of other stuff in life. Like it just overwhelms me. It confuses me. I just don't know what to make of it, what to think of it, how to feel about it. Just a lot of big question marks, you know, for me, and just anyways, I'm obviously really rambling now, and this is almost an hour somehow already. Like, damn. It's getting dark out. I have a bunch of groceries next to me, and yeah, so I did really want to try to get back to my apartment before it got dark out today. So it's starting to get dark out now. It's just barely after 4 o'clock, you know. So yeah, it's like I'm not really gonna beat myself up about feeling as depressed as I normally do. Like when I'm not trying to like do stuff for other people or for a video. Because yeah, it's like I think about the stuff that I've been through and just the stuff that I still struggle with, and how much it sucks for me trying to be a dancer, or just feeling like I need to try to work out as much as possible whenever I can push myself to try to do that and warm myself up that way, not having heat at my apartment, trying not to put the heat on in my car. Just, you know, the list goes on and on. But then yeah, I mean, it's already dark out at 4 o'clock. I mean, that in itself is just like, you know, and this here just goes on for months and months and months. 6 months, 7 months, it's a while, sometimes 8 months pretty much. So cold. I mean, you know, so cold, just dark, and 4 o'clock, really? Like, really? I'm usually lucky if I can get out by 4 o'clock. So for me to have gotten out of my apartment by noon today was an incredible thing for me. I'm really happy about that, you know. Again, really thankful to VIP and O'Reilly Auto Parts for helping me out so much today with my license plates, and they were really great last week when I had to get work done on my car. So, and they've also been great in the past when I went there. I really like them. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up for now. Since I was able to get out, you know, before noon today, I'd really like to try to do that again tomorrow, because sometimes, or maybe Saturday, because sometimes I like to try to still do a day shift here and there at the club for Friday or Saturday. My favorite manager does work on Fridays, or I don't know, I think he does. He was recently anyways. So, and then Saturdays are super slow, but they're good days for just like stretching, you know, like really trying to stretch pretty much for the entire shift. But my body needs that, you know, like I definitely don't stretch as much as I should these days with all the night shifts that I've been doing and the 10-hour shifts, and there really isn't a whole lot of stretching that goes on for those shifts for me with that. Whereas day shifts, I can typically get a lot more stretching in, which I've really been slacking off with for a while, which I'm feeling, you know, the effects of, which has not been good. So yeah, maybe I can get out today or tomorrow or Saturday to do a day shift or do a video. I didn't get to the gym today, and I was right there. I mean, I was in the same parking lot, and I wanted so badly to push myself to squeeze that in today too. And I mean, before I came on here to do this video, I was just so exhausted. I mean, you know, I didn't really feel like I was actually able to do the errands that I was running around doing. It was just one of those things where you're just kind of forcing yourself pretty much. You know, I was just like, but like like in my brain, I wanted so bad to also squeeze the gym in, but my body was just like, not happening. I was so tired. And yeah, I don't know. That was how I felt all day up until I started doing this video. And now that I've been doing this video, I just feel better. It's so weird to me. I'm wondering how I'm going to feel after this. If I'm going to go back to how I felt before, or if I'm just going to, I don't know. I mean, yeah, doing night shifts a lot lately, I do tend to seem to have more energy at night. Like when I do my 10-hour night shifts, when I first get to the club, like this past, the last shift that I did this past Tuesday, for instance, like I was saying earlier in this video, when I first got there and there were those 3 old guys by the stage, when I first got there for that shift, and this is how it normally goes, when I first get to the club for the start of my shifts, The first few hours that I'm there will usually feel excruciating. I'm so exhausted. Like I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm yawning. I'm hurt from head to toe. I just feel awful most of the time with that. And then it's like I just don't I don't feel somewhat okay until basically the nighttime, until much later into the night. I mean, I really don't like when it gets dark out because I'm scared of the dark and I don't like darkness. But for my body, that's how my brain feels. But for my body, like my energy levels and just like my ability to do things, and that's when I have more energy. That's when I feel better physically, for whatever reason. Like I don't sleep at night at all whatsoever. I just can't do it. I try and I try and I try and I can't do it. So it's like my body just wants to be up at night. And that's when I, like into the night shifts. It's weird because doing a 10-hour night shift, when I first get there, when I first start the shift, I feel so awful. Pretty much always when that happens. And when I first start. And yeah, the first few hours, by the end of that 10-hour shift, that's 10 hours of me climbing the pole, going upside down on the pole, dealing with all these crazy guys and crazy people. It's 10 hours of me working and doing a lot of physical stuff on the stage, on the pole, etc. So you would think at the end of 10 hours of doing that, I'd be more tired and I'd feel more sore. That's 9 times out of 10, that is not the case. 9 times out of 10, at the end of that 10-hour shift, I feel 10 times better than I did when I first started, when I first got there. I feel alive. I feel energized. I feel awake. I feel like I could keep going if I wanted to or needed, you know what I mean? Like, if we were still going to stay open for longer, like, yeah, I'm happy to have the shift be over so I can just, be done with that shift and go back to my apartment and shower and eat and sleep and all of that. But that's when I have the most energy, is at the end of the 10-hour shift, pretty much. And that's when I'm like loosened up and I just feel energy. And you know what I mean? That's when I feel so much better. It's very bizarre to me how that works. But that's how it is for me. So anyway, it's another one of life's little mysteries, I guess. I don't know if it's the adrenaline, maybe I would think that probably has a lot to do with it. The adrenaline, because they say adrenaline is a hell of a drug, and I definitely agree with that. The adrenaline from climbing the pole and just doing all this crazy stuff up there and risking my life like that over and over again. Like, looking down, from like 15 feet up in the air, being like, damn, I'm pretty high up here for, how sleepy I am and how incapable I usually feel most of the time. How am I up 15 feet in the air like this? Like, oh, that pool is so slippery. They do something to it. I know they do. There's no way it could be as slippery as it is unless they were doing something, whatever it is they're doing. I don't know, but holy crap. Anyway, this video is over an hour now, so I really gotta wrap this up. Definitely getting dark out. I'm glad I was able to get to do this today. I'm glad I pushed myself, because again, at the start of this video, I was like, oh, I really don't feel like coming on. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I can't fake it. I can't smile. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm so tired. I had like just a few little things in my brain that I wanted to mention. I was like, okay, whatever. 5, 10, 15 minutes, wrap it up. That's good. Somehow we're at over an hour of this. I don't know how that happens. But yeah, I really do like coming on here, and I feel so much better now. So I hope I was able to put a smile on somebody else's face out there as well. Yeah. So maybe I'll be able to come back on tomorrow or Saturday, but regardless of that, I usually work at the club on Sundays. And I wasn't able to do a video last Sunday before my shift, but that's what I usually try to do. I'll usually try to get out early enough to where I can also manage to squeeze in the video before my shift at the club on Sundays, and pretty much all the shifts that I do. So anyways, that's what I would like to try to do. But either way, I'm going to try to get back on here sooner than later, as soon as I can manage to do so. Because yeah, it does seem to cheer me up and get me feeling better. And I hope that watching these videos does that for somebody else out there as well. So I'm going to peace out for now. But thank you guys for watching and giving me something to look forward to. XO for now.